Originally I wanted you to give us a big update, and I still do, on the Education Freedom Scholarship Plan and the success of the initial launch of applications. And I still want that as a part of the discussion. But, obviously, here in Middle Tennessee, our talking points have been taken over with the ridiculous commentary and actions on the part of the mayor of Nashville and some of the response. I'm certain that you have a response as well as a representative of Maury County and beyond. Talk to me.
Well, when this first broke about 2 weeks ago, I came in and talked to the listeners about how this was wrong, about what Nashville was doing and Metro Nashville Police. And then we talked about our state representatives and our council members who were running around chasing ICE vehicles, about how wrong that was. And you thought, okay, well, everybody would have learned their lesson. And then Congressman Ogle, brings hearings involved here. And then you thought, okay, well, everybody's learned their lesson here. Stay out of the way of Tom Homan, stay out of the way of ICE. People that are here illegally, that we are going to deport and send back home. And you thought, you know what? It can't get any worse for Metro Nashville and the mayor. And lo and behold, it did. And releasing the names and putting the names of those ICE agents right up against state law. Because if he would have posted the addresses, he'd have been in violation of state law. And I'm pretty sure THP would have been paying a visit to the mayor's office.
I have a question out in front of the mayor's office. Mm-hmm. I questioned his chief of staff, Alex Apple, on this, asking if there was any explanation as to how this happened. They claim, now this was, for those who don't know, Fox 17 journalist Karen Aguilar reported that the Office of New Americans, which is a division of the mayor's office in Nashville, published the names of ICE officials and their interactions with local agencies on its official Metro government website. Published their names. Shortly after their reporting, the mayor's office removed those names.
Wonder why.
And that's my question. Why did they initially get published? They now claim that it was a, quote, mistake.
I bet it was.
Well, I bet they think so now.
I bet it was.
So, this has obviously drawn the attention of Tom Homan, and Homan now says, I'm coming to Nashville to see what the heck's going on down there, because as he has said from the beginning, you're within your rights to disagree with what we're doing. Mm-hmm. You can not like it all you want to, and you can complain about it all you want to, but you cannot get in the way and impede the actions of official duties of Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Or endanger the officers.
Amen.
Endanger the officers. And some of our state reps, Representative Bain, going around and bragging about impeding ICE agents, right? You're in violation of the law.
No, and she is absolutely in violation of 8 U.S.C. 1324.
Yes.
And it's my understanding, I have a trusted source within the Metro Council that told me that, I guess his name is Wally Dietz, the lawyer for the city council, threw out hey, you need to stop all. It called Afton Ben and told her,
right,
you need to stop this. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot of trouble with the law.
My father taught me sometimes is you better learn to read the room. Okay, Freddie, you better learn to read the room. And the room here is we're going to support ICE, we're going to deport illegals, and we're going to follow the rule of law. Period. Please get on board or get out of the way. But don't stand in the way of law enforcement. Don't stand in the way of ICE, who has a job. You talk about it all the time on your show. There's a new sheriff in town in Washington.
That's right.
And the people of this country voted overwhelmingly secure the border and make our community safe.
And what's fascinating, those that disagree with it, there's a mechanism by which you can change that. You elect people that think like you, and then they get to change the law.
Win elections.
Win elections. It's as simple as that.
And we've talked about this before. One of the most important things, and I know Congressman Ogles and others have already talked about it, is Congress needs to act now on those executive orders that President Trump has to put them into U.S. code so that we're not at the whim of another president to undo everything that's being done right now to protect our communities. We have probably the safest border. I'll argue with you right now. We probably have one of the safest borders in the world right now.
No, I saw the recent study that illegal alien encounters at the California border, and California, one could argue, is the most liberal state in the United States of America, or at least one of the top three. at the down 96%.
Yeah.
Now that the Trump administration has taken over border security.
Enforcing the law.
And it demonstrates that everything that the liberal Democrats in Washington were telling us during the 2024 election cycle was a total lie.
Correct.
You know, Joe Biden running around just reading from the teleprompter saying, oh, we need more funding, we need more money. Donald Trump's not gotten any more money. He's not gotten any more funding. You know what he did? He cracked the whip and said, y'all go do your jobs. And the Border Patrol agent said, yes, sir, we'll go do our jobs.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And that's it. You enforce the law and call it a day.
I want to thank you guys in the General Assembly. You included Cepicky and obviously your fellow Republicans for passing legislation that does protect our immigration and custom enforcement agents. You mentioned that line that you talked about. I don't remember the specifics of the legislation except to say that you guys passed a law that says if you put the addresses of law enforcement agents publicly online, that is against the law and you get arrested.
That's correct. And I think what you saw on that website was bumping right up to the law and then falling just a little bit short. But I think the intent was to expose those individuals. Mm-hmm. And heaven forbid that something would happen to one of our ICE agents because people found out who they were and maybe saw them or confronted them at a Kroger or something like that. The consequences that would come from the General Assembly would be very dire. And
I understand that these issues are emotional, and I understand that a lot of people are sensitive to certain members of the illegal migrant community that came years ago, that have done nothing else wrong, and I'm sensitive to those people too. I'm sorry for those people that they believed the lies that they were told that if you just lay low long enough that's going to make all of this go away.
Correct.
And that's not the way that it works. Well, what's fascinating me, though, and I've had conversation, for example, Mayor Jason Cole, the city of Laverne. I like Jason Cole. I think he does a great job, but they held a public hearing last week, and the tone of the hearing was, hey, we're not working with ICE. Hey, you don't have to worry about us. Hey, we're all good here in our community. And I'm like, they never said anything that crossed that line, but the tone was that ICE are the bad guys. And I'm like, no, ICE are the law enforcement's not the bad guys here.
If you look at the list of people that were identified in that very first raid, the people that they removed from those communities, these are bad people. These are bad people. Now, ICE is not driving around sitting outside of schools waiting for people to come pick their kids up. Let's get that straight. And they're not sitting at a Kroger looking and profiling people. They're using THP to make traffic stops, lawful traffic stops. And then when they find out that the people here have maybe identification problems or immigration problems, they're doing what THP does, they turn them over to ICE. ICE is now a 287G program now, which means Tennessee Highway Patrol has the ability to do immigration issues now. Mm-hmm. We are encouraging, and I am encouraging my sheriff to join the 287G program, and let's expedite this problem in Tennessee because I can show you financially what it's costing the state of Tennessee to deal with this Biden open border over the last 4 years. We've got people in our schools that are here that shouldn't be in our schools. We got people in our communities. We got drug addiction. We got gang violence everywhere now. They're openly recruiting kids, and people always ask me, why are you so passionate about education? Because a lack of education leads to you looking for other outcomes for being able to sustain your life. Mm-hmm. And that's who the gangs are preying on.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of education, it parlays it into subject number 2, and that is the Freedom Scholarship
Yes, sir.
program. How would you grade the rollout?
A.
Yeah?
I've been up here 7 years. To me, it's been the best program I've ever seen rolled out, where they worked through all the bugs. They had a little hiccup for maybe about 45 minutes to an hour to where some emails got sent that were to the wrong address. They got it corrected immediately, got the notification back to those parents. I have parents calling me right now all over the state of Tennessee saying, hey, I got my acceptance letter. Thank you very much.
Good.
These parents know that this is an opportunity for their kids to maybe get their needs met in a different way educationally so that those kids can be successful in life.
I did have a question, and tell me if you know or not, but if there's an expansion, mm-hmm. if the legislature sees fit to fund an expansion to the program for, I think, an additional 5,000 scholarships,
yes,
will those be first come, first serve, or will any of those be need-based first versus just anyone that wants to apply for the
That is
scholarships?
the question that I get asked most across the state of Tennessee, and the answer is yes. So what happens is, if we so next year, and it's already hit the bumper. So it'll expand up to 25,000 scholarships. Those other 5 subject to funding of the General Assembly. But let's say we fund them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. So the list is everybody who qualified the year before is requalified immediately. Then whatever those scholarships, let's say it's 5,000 scholarships are left, then it falls to economically disadvantaged. And then there's a list of things that they go through, and then at the end of that is anybody else in the state of Tennessee. So we're still staying with our premises. We want to help the people who need the help the most. Public school taking a priority, economically disadvantaged taking a priority, so that we have, and Matt, all we did was we looked at other states and looked at their shortcomings.
Right.
And we armchair quarterbacked them to make sure that we would have the best program.
And look, if for those families that are making it happen and putting their kids into private school, but they are managing those dollars right now, I feel for you and I want to help you, but I don't want to put you necessarily in front of people who don't have that opportunity, who are in perhaps a failing public school. And I know that doesn't sit well with some of those folks, but that's fine. I mean, you just have to prioritize in my opinion.
And one of the things we're working on right now is now we're starting to get a little bit of a shift in the homeschool community now. Now they're starting to talk about, okay, we're going to watch this for a year and see how far we stick our nose under the tent. Mm-hmm. And if we, what we've done in the bill was we put prohibitions in there from our ability as a government to do that. If we can prove that to the homeschoolers and homeschoolers want to take advantage of it, then maybe we have another conversation.
Third subject, and only about a minute, and it might not be enough time, but I have some folks with this Columbia Dam project coming on Monday. Mm-hmm. You and I, it occurs to me, have not talked about this, but what do you know about this and where are you on it? I know it's a big, in a minute. 60 seconds, Cepicky, go.
So real quick, back in the late 70s, there was a proposal to put a dam on the Duck River. For any number of different reasons, that dam was shut down and tore down. And now the Duck River is what it is. We have grown probably over the last 15, 20 years, probably over 500,000 people in Middle Tennessee for sure. Mm-hmm. And so what's happened is as our county commissions and our municipalities continue to approve new project after new project, there's only so much water available. Mm-hmm. And so now we're starting to understand is, okay, if we keep saying yes, we've got to have another water source, either raising Normandy Dam or Columbia Power and Water putting another intake south or west of Columbia, or piping water from the Tennessee or Cumberland. We have to come up with another solution because the last time I checked, all of our municipalities, including Nashville, the word is yes. Mm-hmm. So we've got to figure out how we're going to address that. That's what we need to figure out. What is the best way to do that?
And the good news is it appears that if this is the solution, and I'm not saying it is, they had already identified the place to do it. They had already kind of identified the best area that it would make the most sense. And it's my understanding had built a good deal of infrastructure that they then subsequently tore down.
They were probably 95% complete.
That's unfortunate.
But it's going to be what is the best solution going forward? If it's the dam, it's the dam. If it's not the dam and it's something else, then we do it.
Let's do the dam project, Cepicky.
I didn't say that.
I did. Let's get on the damn thing.
FCC on line 1.
Thank you.